All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of This About That. I believe this is episode 15. T. Lou, how we feeling today, buddy?
Feeling good. Exhausted from yesterday. Very taxing Raiders game, and we'll get into that a little bit later in the episode. But other than that, I got no complaints.
Yeah, it's been a tough weekend for the voice in the household in sports. Niner loss, we'll get into that, and Oklahoma loss. Yeah, tough weekend overall for sports for me. We got a lot of good stuff to cover today. But first, we're going to get into a little bit of MLB talk. First, starting out with Shohei Ohtani, absolute phenom in the MLB right now. Tyler, if you want to go into that a little bit, I'll let you take the reins on that, and we'll kind of bounce back and forth. But what do you got with Shohei?
Yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know who Shohei Ohtani is, or if you're just not a big baseball fan, but he has been on an absolute tear this season in the MLB, and he's putting up insane numbers. But most importantly, a couple of nights ago, he actually broke, created a record, right? The first player ever to have 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a season,
which is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Like you said, 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. I mean, that's just insane. Yeah, dude, just kind of bouncing off of that. In his last 7 games, he went 16 for 32 with 2 doubles, 6 home runs, 11 runs scored, 17 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and a 1.125 slugging percentage. That is just absolutely absurd. I know there's been a lot of talk around just media and these sports analysts in the MLB specifically talking about how he's just having a historic run right now. And a lot of people are saying if he keeps doing this, he might go down as the best baseball player to ever live. And to be honest with you, I agree. I'm not a big MLB guy, but you see this guy on headlines everywhere. I mean, you can't avoid it. As a casual fan as I am, seeing this is just insane. He beat Ricky Henderson's home run / stolen base record in 3 games. He had 15 total, topping Ricky Henderson, who had 13 in his 1986 season. And anybody that knows baseball knows Ricky Henderson. I mean, he's probably the fastest MLB player to ever step on the field.
The greatest base stealer of all time.
Yeah, greatest base stealer of all time. I mean, he is as fast as the wind. Nobody could throw him out. I mean, he was constantly stealing bases. Every time you saw him on first base, he was stealing second. And even the catchers knew, the pitcher knew, they all knew, and they still couldn't stop him. And for Shohei to top him with that 15 total is just insane. Right now, he also leads the National League in home runs with 53, and he's 2 behind Aaron Judge for the MLB record right now. Considering that he is mostly, I believe, he's a designated hitter.
He's a DH. I don't know if they might have him playing a position this year. I'm not positive, but he has historically been a pitcher and a DH. So he's also, to make this guy even more impressive, he also throws gas.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal pitcher. Like you just said, he throws gas. You don't see any guys being able to put up those stats as a DH and a pitcher. It's never happened. He can do it literally all. You can put him anywhere on the field and he is going to produce. And the fact that he's only 2 home runs behind a huge slugger like Aaron Judge just tells you all you need to know about the guy. And like we said before, if he keeps going on this run, I don't really see how you can, keep him out of the conversation of being one of the best of all time. We still have, I believe, October is the start of the playoffs for the MLB, and for all you big baseball fans, watch out for Shohei Ohtani, man. That guy, I think, is going to light it up in the playoffs, and we'll see if the Dodgers can have a run with him a little bit in this postseason. And I mean, like we said before, this is insane. I've never seen a baseball player of this caliber in a really long time, especially since he's a DH and he's a pitcher. I mean, it's just it's insane.
People are talking about if he keeps going at this pace season after season, he might. I mean, he's already up there, but he could go down as the greatest baseball player of all time. He's that.
And you have, some of these people, one guy I watched, he was just like, oh, yeah, like this guy's way better than Babe Ruth, which I 100% agree. People might, these old timers and these people that have followed baseball history might not agree because they're stubborn. But we have to think about the era of baseball. Babe Ruth played in the era where he was getting pissed drunk and smoking cigars on the field and just hitting dingers. That's all he was known for. He didn't run. He didn't make any fantastic plays on the field. He wasn't athletic. He was a fat fuck. Let's just be honest with you. I'm sorry for the cussing, but it's just there's no comparison. In his era, sure, he was the GOAT, but he's not the GOAT. Like, he's not the greatest of all time in every era of baseball. I just think he was a slugger, and that's what kind of got brought attention towards him and got him the accolades that he did. But let's be honest, he wasn't much of a baseball player outside of hitting home runs. And no offense, but those guys weren't throwing over 80 miles an hour back then. Right. There's no fucking way. Most of those guys were plumbers or, blue collar guys that were stepping on the baseball field making $50 a game and probably a pack of bubble gum. And where Babe Ruth was putting that money towards another bottle of liquor or, another pack of cigars. So in my opinion, I don't think there is any comparison to him and Shohei Ohtani. I think Shohei Ohtani clears him in every way possible, really. The only thing you can really compare is probably the slugging percentage and the home runs. But other than that, Shohei Ohtani is a way better ball player. And you guys can come at me for that. I know I'm a casual fan for the MLB, but everybody knows it. You can't deny it. You can't deny stats. You can't deny facts. And you cannot deny the fact that Shohei Ohtani is doing it all. Like we said before, Babe Ruth wasn't like that. He wasn't. And Shohei's doing it. So
he definitely was like that because he was pitching and hitting at the same time. You can compare them, right? And during the time eras, like Babe Ruth is still a legend in his own right. Like, we're not trying to say Babe Ruth is some kind of bum, but in comparison to what Shohei's doing, it's just there would never be any. There was never anybody before who could do what he's doing. And there might never be after him. Like, he's that crazy good.
Yeah. It's like, like you said, Babe Ruth, he did pitch, he did hit, but he was mostly known as a slugger, a guy that would get up and, he wasn't getting a base hit. He wasn't stealing any bases. He wasn't, he was hitting home runs, swinging for the fences every chance he got. Right. And that can only get you so far. And in the era of baseball that he played in, it got him really far. It sure did. But now that wouldn't work.
Speaking of Shohei, you remember earlier this season when he got caught up for all that gambling stuff and ratted out his interpreter and all that kind of stuff?
Yep.
We had another incident this weekend. Getting into our next topic, C.J. Abrams. All-star for the Washington Nationals. I'm going to read a little bit of this report, and we're going to talk about it because I think it's hilarious. The season's almost over. Keep that in mind. The season has a few games left. The Washington Nationals announced on Saturday they were demoting All-Star shortstop C.J. Abrams to their minor league complex in West Palm Beach, Florida. Nationals manager Dave Martinez said on Saturday that Abrams' demotion was not due to his play on the field, but instead due to internal issues. But a reporter said Abrams was out all night at a Chicago area casino and did not return back until a few hours before the Nationals' Friday 2 p.m. Eastern Time game against the Chicago Cubs. So he pulled an all-nighter at the casino, shows up, and goes over 3.
It's just like you look at this, and he also he got a $30,000 fine, which is not really much considering he's probably making a good amount of money. But it's just funny how you see some of these athletes, dude, and it happens in every sports where these guys just get caught up in a gambling almost. It's not even just like an all-night. It might not even be just an all-nighter. In this situation, it was. But you see all these guys just going there, and it's just like when you have that type of money, there's two people. It's either there's one side where you're like, okay, I'm investing, I'm doing the smart thing, I'm getting all the essentials, and then you have the other side where these guys are like, holy shit, well, I got money to spend. I'm just going to go to the casino and blow it. I think that looks horrible for the Washington's organization as a whole, considering that he is a good baseball player, and it just looks bad on him. I hope this doesn't happen to him again. I mean, that guy was literally at the craps table for 10 hours and just blowing his money. And who knows how much he lost? I mean, I don't know. I don't know how much he lost. I mean, it couldn't be a low amount.
I got some interesting takes on sports players gambling, and I think we should just let them do it. and I'm going to tell you why. If they're betting on a game they are not in, who does it hurt? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, unless you're Pete Rose putting up money for your own team. Like,
I don't even know if Pete Rose is doing that. Or like the other thing is if let's say Stephon Diggs says, I'm going to bet on myself to have 200 yards today. I think I'm going to have a great game. Like, why? I understand it, right? Like, he can go to Josh Allen and be like, hey, bro, I put $200 on myself to have 200 yards tonight. You got to hit me with the ball a lot. So I see it there, but like, I think baseball players can even get in trouble, or football players, or any athlete. I think they can get in trouble for like sports betting at all. Like, I don't even think they're allowed to bet on MLB games.
No,
an NFL
not.
player can't. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, somebody who loves sports betting, I gets my juices going. I just wish they let the boys have fun. You know.
Yeah, I think it like you said, you know, I agree with you in a sense where it's like it doesn't really matter if they're not like betting on themselves. I think is a little bit wrong, but betting on anything else that doesn't have anything to do with themselves and their play, I think it's free game. Like you said, you know, CJ, you know, going to the casino. I mean, I said before that it looks bad for the organization because it does. It makes headlines. You know, it's a negative thing to look at, but also it's like, who cares? Like, I also have another part of me where it's like, who gives a shit what he does with his money? Who cares how long he's out for? Like, how long he's out for on a night? You know, he showed up. Sure, he went 0-3, but he showed up to the game. I mean, how many guys back in the day showed up pissed drunk to their baseball games or on some sort of drugs or, you know, something. And it's just like they didn't really care that much. And now it's just like you got the media and it's a lot different. But who cares what they do with their money? Like, if he wants to go spend it all night, you know, all night at the casino and play blackjack and craps and on the slots, you know, let him do it.
And I don't think that they were upset with him for going to the casino. I think it was the fact that he went to the casino all night and didn't stop going to the casino until a couple hours before the game.
And it also makes it look bad because he went out to the casino and then he played as bad as he did. Right. Going 0-3, it's just like the coach is like, okay, this man was probably drunk. He didn't get any sleep the night before. He probably didn't eat. You know, let's send him down in the minor leagues for a few games so he can kind of reflect on the situation. And it's just like we said before, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you know, everybody minding their business with this and just kind of letting it go on the wayside, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what he does with his money. But when you come in from a night like that and everybody knows that you were out and you went 0-3, it kind of does look bad. And you know, as a coach, you kind of have to make a decision. So
it's like embarrassing for the entire organization.
It's just embarrassing. And it's just like, sure, like they probably don't care that he was out spending his money, but the fact, like, you know, like we said, he just came back and he didn't perform. So obviously he wasn't on his game. And who knows, maybe he lost a lot of money and that's all he was thinking about was like, man, I lost $50,000 on craps.
I got to chase this loss. I don't have a choice. I have to chase it.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe he bet on himself and then that pressure got to him and that's why he went 0-3. Who knows? Maybe he pulled a Pete Rose. I don't know. But yeah, that's a crazy thing for the Washington Nationals organization and the MLB as a whole. So we'll kind of see how that pans out. I'm sure he'll be back on the roster here soon in the next probably week. But a good learning lesson for him to probably make sure his priorities are straight and make sure that he's
maybe
coming back ready to play. Yeah, exactly. Maybe go home, drink a water, you know, get your 8 hours. You know, not saying you can't go have fun at the casino, but man, if you got a game the next day at 2 p.m., you probably shouldn't be out all night, you know, gambling at the casino. That's just me. But moving on from the baseball, we're going to go into a little bit of football talk. Both of our teams had a rough weekend. NFL talk. Tyler is a Raiders fan and I'm a 49ers fan. We'll get into the Raiders here first. The Raiders suffered a 36-22 loss against the Panthers. And who was their starting quarterback? No other than Andy Dalton, who went 26 for 37, 319 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That is damn near a pretty flawless game by himself. And like we said, the Raiders, for some reason, can't beat Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is the Raiders' kryptonite. And Gardner Minshew, he went 18 for 28, 214 yards, and 1 TD. Raiders offense looked very flat. I looked at the receiving yards. It was looking rough. I mean, nobody had really a good game on the receiving end. And, I'll let you kind of talk about it a little bit. Tyler, what did you see from your Raiders this weekend? And what can they improve on moving forward to hopefully, at least get a winning record at the end of the season, maybe get a wild card game, because that's where the 49ers are looking right now. We'll get into that in a little bit. But what did you see on Sunday?
Well, before I say that, I'm going to go and last week on this show with your father, I said I can handle a Raiders loss. I think every single game on the Raiders schedule is a winnable game or a losable game, depending on what team shows up. I said I don't care if they lose as long as they show that they gave a shit and they just bring your effort, right? Show me that you are trying to win this football game.
Yeah.
And you asked me, what did I see out of that Raiders team? I want to talk about what I didn't see. I didn't see any heart. I didn't see any creativity. And I didn't see any fucking effort. Not an ounce. You go out there against the 0-2 Panthers, and I told you guys last week the Raiders were going to lose this game.
Mind you, they did also, and it's funny because they benched what's-his-face. So right, the Panthers are already in shambles. They can barely sell game tickets as is.
And I thought we were going to lose the game. I wasn't hopeful when they were playing against Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
When they said they were playing against Andy Dalton, I said, we are cooked.
And Andy Dalton took that opportunity and ran with it. I mean, he was excited. You could tell how excited he was to get that start. And I think he's going to be starting moving forward. And he's been in the league for God knows how long.
Dude, this is how bad the Raiders got their fucking ass kicked. As a team that just came off of beating a pretty decent Ravens team, you're making me question, man, are the Panthers really a quarterback away? And I guess time will tell, right? But you can't go out there, your first home game, the fans show up, they showed up. There was a shit ton of Raider fans there. And that stadium is really easily taken over by enemy fans. Really easily. Because it's Vegas, everybody's going to go. I'm going to week 6. I'm going to see so many terrible towels in those stands. I'm sure that stadium is going to be 50% Steelers.
Yep.
And to go out there and just get embarrassed like that by a team that has no business destroying you. I wouldn't mind if it was close, right? I thought we were going to lose 24-21 off a field goal, or we would win 17-24. We might win, but you go out there and you just lay an egg and you just roll over after the first quarter. That team was done.
Yep.
We have no quarterback. Our offensive coordinator is a joke. The defense is okay, right? We have Max Crosby, Robert Spillane. I want a refund on Christian Wilkerson. What the fuck is he worth? Nothing. He's supposed to be this premier defensive tackle that's supposed to take all this pressure off of Max Crosby. He can't win his fucking battles. And Max Crosby's getting crack blocked on the side every time. And nobody's ever hey, maybe we should rush somebody else next to Max. I never see that. You know what I'm saying? If he's demanding so much attention, move shit around. Maybe you make Christian Wilkins take the one-on-one on the outside. Who knows? But I just don't see them switching up. I don't see them making adjustments. They just get steamrolled. And part of that has to be you have Antonio Pierce, who, in my opinion, I get it. He's the oorah guy. Maybe he'll prove me wrong. Is not an NFL head coach. The Panthers they might have an NFL coach. I don't know that guy's coaching tree, but Antonio Pierce was just a assistant to the assistant defensive coordinator. Has never even called a play, and he doesn't call plays. He's got Luke Getsy calling the offense, who's a fucking moron, and then you've got Patrick Graham up in the box looking like a fucking lost puppy every time they put the camera on his dumb ass. He just has the same look on his face, oh well, fuck, we're fucking this up pretty bad, huh? Yeah, you think? And right now, the Raiders are in a terrible situation where you don't have a direction. Let's say you keep on building and you keep on trying for this season, and they are not a playoff team by any stretch of the imagination. So if you keep on busting your ass and you try your best and maybe you squeak out 7-10, you know what 7-10 gets you? Not in the playoffs, and it definitely doesn't get you a good enough draft pick to build towards the future. So then you got to think, oh, well, now we got to tank. Well, if you tank, does Max Crosby want to be part of a tanking team as one of the best defensive players in the NFL? Maybe not. Maybe. Who knows? But there's a chance he might want to leave. And you have Devontae Adams, who wants zero part of the Raiders right now. He was hopeful. He said he was saying all the right things during the preseason and during the beginning of the season. He wanted to be a Raider. He's excited to be here. You can see the joy leaving that man's face. We're 3 games into the season.
Yeah.
Let's say by some magical happenstance you make it to the playoffs. Does this Raiders team beat the Chiefs? Do they beat the Bills? Fuck no. Do they beat the Bengals? Absolutely not. There's a line of teams that the Raiders would never in a million years beat in the playoffs right now. Never. So now you're like, well, now what do we do, right? We're going to end up with like the 15th pick again, out of reach of the top quarterbacks, and I don't even like any of the quarterbacks this year. Like, they all are okay, right?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this quarterback class either. I think it's one of those things where it's just like, especially on the defensive side of the ball, like you said, you have Max Crosby, arguably one of the best defenders in the game. And what makes no sense to me is that he's getting double teamed. He's getting cracked blocked. They got a fullback, running back staying in to make sure he doesn't get to the quarterback. Where the hell are the other defensive linemen? If this guy's getting double teamed, triple teamed, one of these guys got to be open. Sack, quarterback pressure, when you get that pressure on Dalton, he starts making mistakes, but it wasn't there. And it just makes me wonder, it's like, why aren't you guys sending more? Why aren't you doing different schemes, sending this defensive lineman here, sending this defensive lineman here, throwing a cornerback blitz maybe off the edge? I don't see any of that. And it's just like you said, it does Max Crosby, like if it happens to be a bad season for the Raiders at the end, does he want to be a part of this team? And that's what makes me feel bad, because it's like, dude, he is so good. He is so
good. It would be a Khalil Mack situation all over again.
Yep, exactly what I was thinking. And it's just like, I don't want to see that, because it's like, where does that leave you as a Raiders organization? I don't see. I don't know. All I know is that if you have that guy on the edge the entire game, you got to get the other guys to rally behind him. You got to start sending more people. You got to start throwing some schemes at him to break it up a little bit so he can get to the quarterback. Or, like I said before, where the hell are the other guys when he's getting double team and triple team? Like, these guys should getting past. You're a professional. Eventually, you got to make a play. You got to, nut up or shut up. And I just don't see that. But like I said, who knows how the season's going to pan out for the Raiders. I can see it going, one of two ways, whether you guys rally behind and start winning some games, or it's just going to be a rough season. And like you said, what record do you have at the end of the season to put you in the best position for the future? Like you said, you go 7-10, you don't have a good draft pick. You make a wild card game. Who are you beating? The Chiefs? Are you beating any of these good teams in the NFL? And then after that season, it's like, oh, well, the Raiders, another wild card game. And that's going to put a lot of pressure, I feel like, on, especially towards the decision-making for Devontae Adams and Max Crosby. Are they going to want to stay on this team? And if those guys leave, where does that leave the Raiders? So, I don't know. I feel like the Raiders need to completely revamp and go back to the drawing board and hopefully put together a game plan, to win this Sunday. We're going to keep on the topic for the NFL. Going into my 49ers. I am not happy. This weekend was very rough for me for sports. Like I said, Oklahoma Sooners lost against Tennessee, their SEC opener. Tough game. Like I said, a lot of injuries. Won't make that excuse. We lost. Simple as that.
Yep.
Jackson Arnold not playing well, but going into the 49ers. 24-27 loss against the Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams had Puka Nacua out and Cooper Kupp out. With that being said, the Niners were also beat up, so it was a pretty even matchup. Brock Purdy played damn near a perfect ball game. 22 for 30, 292 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, you just can't have a better game as a quarterback. Juwan Jennings.
I'm gonna do you a favor real quick. Tell the fans, Cody, what position did you play when you played football in college?
I was a tight end my freshman year, and then I played offensive lineman my second. So I was a center guard my second, and I played tight end my first year.
Now I'm going to give you the stage, and I need you to tell 49ers offensive line exactly what you thought of their performance.
I mean, it was piss poor. It was unreal how bad the pass protection was. I mean, it was unreal. Every single snap they had on offense that was a pass, Purdy was either on the run or getting pressured. I mean, I can't even count on both of my hands how many times that he went out and he was just scrambling for his life. God, what's his name? McKivitz. God, get him the hell off the field. That guy is so bad in pass protection that he is so worthless that I'm just like, I don't even know why we drafted him. Like every single pass protection he had, he was in the lap of Brock Purdy, and it was literally so fucking tough to watch.
A hilarious stat, and I'm going to pull this up and go ahead and keep talking, but I'll come back to it.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, Brock Purdy played flawless. Juwan Jennings had a career game. He had 11 receptions for 175 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, he looked like Randy Moss in that one game where, you know, he's on the sideline, he's going like this with a stat line up. I mean, Juwan Jennings literally played like a Hall of Fame wide receiver on Sunday. Multiple
Brock
catches.
Purdy went 22 for 30. There was 6 drops.
Yep. Bell, get him the hell out of here. He was wide open. Both times dropped it in the clutch. I don't know.
And Brandon Ayuk. And Ayuk dropped a lateral.
Yeah. Ronnie Bell, I don't know what in the flying fuck the Niners are thinking about putting this guy there. He's not ready for the moment. It's too big for the kid. 2 drops. Ayuk, don't know why we paid him. My brother keeps saying he's coming. He's not. Every single game he has been flat. A flat tire on the side of the road. He's done nothing. He doesn't even want to go out there and play. You drop a lateral pass, you drop another pass. You're not open. You're getting clamped. It was just like last year in the playoffs. Nothing has changed with Brandon Ayuk since the playoff run he had last year up to now. He is playing so bad that I don't understand why we paid him. Huge choke. I mean, the Niners were up for majority of that game. Secondary looked lost. I mean, Ward got burnt multiple times. I don't know what's going on in our secondary. Every single time Matthew Stafford dropped back and he stepped up, I knew it was going to be a long bomb and they were going to catch it and make it come up with the play. Bad play calling and time management yet again by Kyle Shanahan. You have the ball later in the fourth quarter and you keep continuing to run the ball, which is fine. And then you go flat, and then all of a sudden, yet again, Brock Purdy is running for his life, and we ended up giving the ball back to the Rams. And I'm just like, Kyle, this all falls back on you, pal. It's horrible time management, horrible play calling, horrible time management. You keep trying to run this clock down, but you're not gaining any yards. You're not getting anywhere, any close. Moody, yet again, chokes in the clutch when he has to come up big with a field goal. And it's just looking real bad for the Niners.
I'll take a little bit of the blame here. The Michigan products did not show up yesterday for you.
Oh, dude! I mean, it was so bad watching that game. Just seeing the Rams inch closer and closer and closer to taking the lead, and us doing nothing. And then Kyle Shanahan, like Diego says, tight ass, and that's what happened in the fourth quarter. Yet again, just could not call the right plays. Had horrible time management, like I said. Looking at the injuries, George Kittle out. Javon Hargrave, one of our defense linemen, out. Dre Greenlaw, still out. McCaffrey, out. Brock Purdy, questionable. Deebo Samuel, out. Ricky Parcell, out. I mean, these are all major players. I don't know. I'm not going to lie. If we keep going the way that we're going with injuries and how bad our play calling is and our secondary is on defense, I don't even know if we make the playoffs at this point. We'd be lucky to get a wild card bid. And that's,
That's the tough part right now, too. You guys are 2 games behind the Seahawks already.
I know, and it's just like I don't know what's going on with the 49ers. I'm getting extremely frustrated with their play.
Yeah.
Like I said before, if they don't turn it around, we're not even going to be a playoff team. Going from what we've had in the last 5 years and not being able to get it done in the big game to this with the amount of injuries, tight asshole of Kyle Shanahan, secondary looking completely lost, and our offensive line looking like freshman high school football players. It's just
Right.
not a good look for 49ers fans, and I know we're all frustrated.
Yeah.
And I really cannot get myself to watch a full game. Like, I literally want to shut it off. It's so embarrassing to watch. I'm just like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Like, it makes no sense to me. And I think this is going to be a really, really, really tough season for the 49ers if we can't turn it around and we can't get healthy. So, like I said before, I don't even know if we're going to be a wild card team. My best bet is that if we lose this Sunday, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Seahawks keep winning. Rams keep sneaking a win here and there. I mean, we're going to be at the bottom of we're going to be with the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to be at the bottom of the league, and the Arizona Cardinals might be above us. I mean, I don't know what else to say other than the 49ers need to go back to the drawing board, and they need to figure this the fuck out, because this is the last season for Shanahan. If Shanahan doesn't do anything this season, he's fired. I don't want to see him anymore. He can go back to coaching, being an offensive coordinator, because I'm getting sick and tired of his bullshit. He did become a little bit
more of if you guys don't make the playoffs this year. I mean, if not make the playoffs, if you guys don't make the Super Bowl this year, I think it's almost like you gotta say it's time, right?
Like I said before, Kyle Shanahan, he in moments during our game, he went for it on fourth and 1. I respect that call. He finally unloosened his ass a little bit, but then as the game went on, he went right back to it. No nuts, no sack of nuts. I mean, this guy just gets so scared when it's clutch time and he doesn't know what to do. And it's honestly getting so old being a Niner fan, because we've been to the promised land so many times and we still can't get it done. So yeah, that's all I got to say about the 49ers and your Raiders. I mean, I feel like it's going to be a tough season for both, and I don't really know what else to say with the amount of stuff that's happening in the organization. We'd be lucky to make playoffs.
I think, unfortunately for both of us, this week at NFL it was bad, man. It was not fun to watch. Bad. It really left a sour taste in my mouth.
It did. I turned off the TV and I was just like, well, I guess this weekend can't get any worse.
Acidic. It was just gross, man. Sour taste. And, the only way to get that sour taste out, I think, is to talk about something a little bit sweeter.
Yes.
Go to our next topic.
Yes. Bam.
We have a bracket for you guys. We haven't done a bracket in a little while. We're going to throw this up here. We're going to be talking about the best cookies.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Now, I don't know about a lot of you.
Oh, yeah.
I love cookies. I eat them sometimes at night. I'll sneak out into the kitchen, get myself a nice ice cold glass of milk. I'll just go to town on a box of Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
Or some fresh chocolate chip cookies.
I mean, nothing is better, than a nice fresh cookie, fresh baked, packaged. Actually, it doesn't matter. I'm a cookie fanatic. I love cookies. I'm a big bag.
I'll eat them anytime, anywhere.
Anytime, anywhere, mostly any flavor. I'm not very picky on my cookies. There's a few that I could go without, but I mean, like I said, I'm a big back, so I'm munching down cookies. The only way to do it is with a nice cold glass of milk. And if you don't like milk, then there might be something wrong with you, especially if you're eating cookies with no milk. We might have to call the police on you. The authorities might be at your door knocking. But with that being said, let's get into this.
Yeah. So round one, here we go. We got the Snickerdoodles against them. Those cookies you eat at Christmas time that come in that little tin. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what they're called. But
they're like
shortbread. But
they're shortbread sugar cookies or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They got like sugar sprinkles on top.
Yeah, they're not bad. I'm not gonna. But it doesn't beat a Snickerdoodle. No, so we're gonna have to put Snickerdoodle there.
Top tier.
100%.
Especially when your mama makes them.
Oh yeah, nothing better.
Now this might be a point of contention because I'm a sucker for the oatmeal raisin cookie. We got oatmeal raisin against white chocolate macadamia nut.
Now I will say this. I'm not a huge oatmeal raisin fan. Over the years, I have been. I think that it's a real sweet cookie. I like the taste. I like the oatmeal taste. I've always been a big oatmeal guy. The white chocolate macadamia. The thing with the white chocolate macadamia is like it's almost like you eat one and you're kind of like, yeah, it's just too sweet for me. There's not much going on other than the white chocolate, and it seems like you can overpower.
A whole box of oatmeal raisin.
So I think about, quantity, the amount that I could eat in one sitting. I'd have to go with oatmeal raisin over white chocolate. I think the white chocolate just becomes a little bit too sweet for me. It is a good cookie. It's definitely one of my favorites, but I'd have to go with oatmeal on this one just for the fact that I could probably get more down without feeling bad about myself.
Yep. I agree 100%. Next one, we got the Girl Scout shortbread cookies against Oreos.
Oreos all day. I'm not saying that the shortbread doesn't have its place. I will fuck up some shortbread cookies, but nothing compares to that
I don't
good
know,
old
though,
cream filling Oreo.
The shortbread was at its best. Remember the Thanks-a-Lots? Where it was shortbread cookie, but then had the chocolate on the bottom. They really need that, and I think now they're just shortbread. It's solely the experience.
It's almost dry. It's like the only time you really see the shortbread, like you said, on Christmas. They kind of just show up, and you get a few drinks in you, and you're like, those don't sound bad. Have a few of those. And
from this list is like cookie cutter Christmas cookies, because I don't see those on here, and those are funny.
Yeah.
But, next one we got the tag along or the peanut butter patty, or depending on where you're from, and then against the Milano dark chocolate bullshit.
Ooh. Man, I'm kind of at a crossroads here, because I do like the tag alongs, right? But I'm a big fan of the Milano. The dark chocolate ones are fire, dude. I feel like you have to be a dark chocolate guy, and I'm a dark chocolate guy. I feel like it's not overpowering. The tag alongs are good.
I think the tag.
But man, I feel like, there's no way that I would have. There's no way that anybody else would agree with me on this with the Milanos. So we're gonna have to put the tag-alongs there. I can eat the tag-alongs. It's just like, man, you're gonna need a gallon of milk. I think
sometimes it's a lost cause for either of these two at this point.
Yeah, it's a lost cause no matter what. Seeing the second round, but the tag-alongs are good. It's just sometimes that peanut butter is a little bit too much, and I feel like I got to drink like a gallon of milk just to wash it down. But they are good.
Oh, they're so good. Okay, now this one, in my head, I want it to be close, but I don't think it's a contest. We have classic chocolate chip cookie against the M&M cookie.
Unfortunately, I just don't think you can go over the classic chocolate chip, in my opinion. I do like the M&M cookie. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes I just I bite into one and I'm just like, man, this is just all M&M. And I'm just tasting that sugary coated chocolate. And it's just like, it kind of turns me off from the cookie after a while. So I feel like I can fuck up more of those chocolate chip ones.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, we got these tuxedo cookies, I think they're called, against a ginger snap.
Ooh, God, I'm probably going to have to go with the tuxedo. The only time I've ever eaten the ginger snaps is probably at my grandma's house. Not saying they're bad, but they're not beating. They're good. They're good.
You let me have the tag-alongs, I'm going to let you have the tuxedos.
Yeah, the tuxedos are good.
Lost cause for both of these.
I do agree as well. The tuxedos are good.
Now, I think we might have the matchup of the day right here.
Oh, boy.
This one's tough. I think we're going to have another one on this side. But first match of the day. Peanut butter cookies against the Samoas.
Dude, I love the Samoas so much.
Right.
I would put those over the peanut butter ones all day. You put them in the freezer for about 10 minutes, and it's just the best thing ever. It just melts in your mouth.
I despise coconut. I don't eat it at all.
I don't eat coconut.
I love these.
Love them on those cookies.
10 boxes every time they come out. I love them.
They're so addicting, dude. I remember one time.
If I wasn't spending all my money on peanut butter patties and Thin Mints, I'd buy some of these.
Dude, they're so good. And I remember Yaya had some when we still worked at Tin Roof together, and he'd bring in boxes, and I would just rifle through them in one shift. They're so addicting. Like I said, I'm not a coconut guy like yourself, but on that cookie, it is top tier, and I could eat those all day long.
Yep, I agree. This next one, I think this is like a lemon cookie, I believe, against the Thin Mint.
We're going to have to go Thin Mint here. I will not say anything bad about the lemon cookie because I love lemon-flavored cookies. I love them to death, but I could eat so many more of the Thin Mints.
I don't think they're in the same realm, And
but also they're losing.
If that was one of those lemonades the Girl Scouts sell, lemonades suck. These are really good.
Yeah. Yep. And it's just like I think it's a lose-lose battle for the lemon cookie, even if it did went into the next round. So we have to put Thin Mints there.
Right. All right, round 2. Here we go. Now we got the Snickerdoodle against the oatmeal raisin.
I am going to be going with the Snickerdoodle on this one.
I am also going to go with the Snickerdoodle.
I think the Snickerdoodle is just a classic. It's so good. Melts in your mouth. Sometimes I like it when it's a little bit more crunchy on the edges, especially, and then you get to the middle and it's nice and soft. I think a Snickerdoodle cookie is just money.
Yeah. Oreos against the tag-along.
I think we're going to have to put Oreos in that one.
Yeah,
I think Oreos are just a classic, man. You can't beat a classic Oreo.
It's Milk's favorite cookie.
It's Milk's favorite cookie.
Who am I to go against Milk?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's Milk's favorite cookie. It's one of my favorites. It's good stuff. Oreos for the win.
Yeah. All right. Now we got the tuxedo cookie against the chocolate chip cookie. I'm just going to go ahead and hit click. I don't think we need to talk about this very much. It's kind of.
Now, this one coming up, this is a tough
one.
This
is difficult.
This might be just a flip of the coin, dude, because I could eat both of these all day long. All day long.
Do I need to call in the big guns?
Who are you calling?
Where's my phone?
Ladies and gentlemen, we might have to bring in a third party for this decision. Like we said, we're kind of at a crossroads with this. For anybody, for any future listeners, which one do you like better? Do you like the coconut Samoas, or do you like the Thin Mints better? This is a really tough one for me and Tyler, and I think it could go both ways.
We've got a professional coming in to decide here because we can't make up our minds.
Yep.
Would you rather have a Thin Mint or a Samoa cookie? Okay, there it is.
Yep. We'll have to go with the Thin Mint.
Spoken.
Yep, Thin Mint. That's it. Like I said, that is a toss of the coin. You can't get any closer with some of the best cookies in the game, and it's a tough one, man, and it can go either way. So I think the Thin Mint's good.
The two best sellers right here in the
100%
for all of them,
100%.
Round 3, final 4. This one
tough.
it's really hard for me. I like to weigh a couple things here. You can't buy a Snickerdoodle at the store.
Yeah,
I mean, you can, right? You can buy them. Are they going to be any good?
It's a homemade type of cookie, in my opinion.
When I think about a Snickerdoodle cookie, I'm thinking about I eat a couple while they're warm. Then I eat the rest of the 30 of them later. They're
exactly.
So
you can't buy a Snickerdoodle. You have to have it homemade.
Right. But on the other side, you have the Oreo.
Mm-hmm.
And man, it's hard because you're going up against it's Milk's favorite cookie and Grandma's favorite cookie to make. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I just think being I always have. I love Oreos. I always have them in my cabinet. I don't always have a good Snickerdoodle around me, and for that reason, I almost want to put Snickerdoodles on top. And I'm gonna have to ask for your help here, Cody, because I can't make up my mind.
I think I'm going to go with Snickerdoodle on this one.
Yeah,
it's the right move. It's the right decision. I love Oreos, but I think nothing beats a homemade warm Snickerdoodle going up against the Oreo. I think it's a tough one for the Oreo to go out like that, but there's nothing we can do. Decision's been made, and Snickerdoodle for the win on that one.
Yeah. And I think, again, the Thin Mint is a fantastic cookie. I think this is a wash. I think chocolate chip cookies are just that good.
They're just so good. And like I said, if they're homemade, I mean, you can't beat it. You can't beat it.
Now
we have a really tough decision
here on this about that, where the absolute 100% matchup of the day is in the finals.
Yep.
We usually have some upsets, something like that, but today, this is the proving ground.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is the decision time.
Yep. Clutch time.
I've got absolutely no idea what to pick.
I am also having trouble picking a final here. It's a really tough one. but my gut is telling me to go with the chocolate chip. My gut is telling me to go with the chocolate chip. I mean, I think that I've had more chocolate chip cookies that are better than Snickerdoodle cookies. And I think they're just an absolute classic. And the way that it got set up, I think chocolate chip takes the win on this, but it is barely. I mean, I don't know what you're deciding. This might have to be a flip of the coin here.
Is that I feel like I'm on the other side of it, and I think we got to get Sean involved.
Where is Sean? Let me call him. He told
me he has to get his ass in there and get on the stream because we need to know what his decision is, and he has to sway us too because we're tied right now.
Yeah, I don't know where he is. Let me see if I can get him on FaceTime, dude.
Here we go.
Hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting the decision. Oh no, he is not available.
Oh no.
Yikes. Okay, well, we're gonna have to. I think we're just gonna have to flip a coin on this one, dude.
Oh man, it just breaks my heart to do it this way.
It really does. There's no other way to do it. I don't think. Sean's not available. He actually might be recording a podcast himself right now. I'm not really sure. I think it comes down to a flip of the coin. Tyler, let's.
You got a coin on you? You want me to go to a website?
You know what? I probably got a coin somewhere around here. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Digging through some stuff.
Hold on. I forget sometimes. We have technology.
I got a coin. Yes. We'll do the old classic. All right. Let's do what do you want to do? Heads, Snickerdoodles, tails, chocolate chip?
Let's do it. All right. These juggernauts.
Tails.
And you know what? I'm not even going to be mad about it.
I'm not mad about that either. I'm not
starting to come around to the idea of the chocolate chip cookie being the winner. And second place in this bracket is not a bad place to be. It's just a tough bracket.
No, definitely not.
One of our hardest we've ever done.
100%. And for all you people that are going to be watching here in the future, let us know what your favorite cookie is and whether or not we're wrong on this list and you have somebody else ahead. And then, comment whether or not you would have picked the milk chocolate chip cookie or the Snickerdoodle in the final battle here.
That's comment of the day. Would you have picked the Snickerdoodle or the chocolate chip cookie? I'm going to figure out if I can put like a poll or something in the comments. I know I can do that somehow. So I'll figure out how to do that. But we want to hear back from you guys. We appreciate all, on average, about 30 of you guys who watch. So we want to hear what you guys think. So, and I think that wraps us up here, no?
Yeah. With that being said, we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching us. And, like we said before, like, subscribe, share, go on our website and buy some merch and all that good stuff. And, shout us out, man. Share it with everybody. We're trying to blow up. So whatever exposure that we can get is good exposure. So, like me and Tyler said before, thank you guys so much for the support, and we will see you guys next week.
Appreciate you.
Later.